Hello, all my VIPs. We're going to be talking about Teen Wolf. Since I already watched the first season of Teen Wolf, I'm going to be talking about the characters in this video. I'm going to shoot to make it not really 20 minutes, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. I'm passionate about my characters, all of you. Like, all of you, I'm passionate about my characters in these shows and whatnot. So that's why they be so long. But I'm going to shoot for making this very short. So, yeah. Okay, so I decided that I'm gonna do the ones I hate first for the characters thing, and then the ones I don't like, and then the ones that I love, or the ones I like, and then the ones that I love. Let's do that. This is all just basing it off of season 1, by the way. This is Kate Argent. I hate this character with a burning passion. Not because she's a bad villain, more so because she's so inhuman with how villainous she is. Like, it's really weird to see it, you know, not even just how she treats Derek, but how she treats what she did in general. Like, she truly cannot see the fact that she killed actual humans in the fire. This is spoilers, by the way. I'm gonna put it in the title. She killed not only werewolves, because some of them were born werewolves, and then there was children. Like, even her brother made a point. There was children who were human. They did nothing wrong. They didn't kill anyone. And even if they were werewolves, it's like they still didn't kill anyone. So it was stupid for her to burn them. And the fact that he said that, she didn't even respond or like defend why she even did it. She didn't even like make a response at all. She just went to the next topic. And it's like, bitch, you know you were wrong for doing that shit. What is wrong with you? And it's just off of her never seeing them as human, which makes me think about, like, how do you think werewolves are made? Like, she knows most of these werewolves are not born werewolves. They were created into werewolves. Scott, for example, he was a human for 15 years of his life until he was made into a werewolf against his will. Yet she don't care. She's still gonna gun them down and kill them. Yet she has no evidence that Scott has murdered anyone. In fact, the show makes it a point to not show you whether Scott has murdered anyone or not. It showed that he wanted to. It showed that his urges were controlling him and making him want to. But he ain't never killed no damn body. So it's like, what are you doing? Like, I can't. I literally cannot. She just sucks. Like, oh my gosh, bro. The only one she seems to really give a fuck for, of course, is her family. But even that's questionable. Let me explain. With Allison, I'm going to show you Allison in the love category. I'm just going to let you know right now. Because who doesn't love Allison? But anyways, I don't like the fact that with Allison, you know, she was okay with just murdering Derek. Like, you know, basically going on like that. And I mentioned this in Kate's version because it's Kate's fault. Like, that's the thing. Kate was okay with letting a 15-year-old learn how to murder people. And this is just my theory. I feel like Kate grew up hunting. Like, it makes sense. Her fucking father's a hunter too. But I feel like she never grew up with an actual childhood or with actual friends. She grew up being trained how to murder supernatural beings. Probably younger of an age than Allison. She was trained to murder werewolves and whatnot. So it really just feels like she had no childhood. She has no, like, morals that are, like, you know, right at all. Like, you know, you can't even say she's a gray area type of morality girl. Like, no, it's not really a gray area. I can't see it as a gray area. Like, yeah, you know, just like, oh yeah, she's not good and she's not bad. No, she's fucking evil. Like, do we not get that? She's fucking evil. She literally admits to dating and screwing Derek, right, with the intent to murder his family. And it's like, why did you sleep with a werewolf if you detest them, if you hate them enough to murder not only the werewolves in a house, but also the kids too? You just didn't care about any fucking body, did you? Like, I can't. I literally can't. Ooh, I don't know what the fuck these are. No spoilers. I passed them real quick, y'all. I don't know what the hell that was, but yeah, you know, we gonna have to get through it. I don't know what that was. But y'all, anyways, yes, it's just, it felt off. I was just like, you should never be okay with your niece, who is 15 years old, murdering all these people. Even though you were raised and brought up like that and you see potential in her, you also have to know that she has to build her own morals. She has to basically decide whether or not she wants this. She wants to become stronger. And yet you straight up just full blown, like, she threw her into the world of werewolves, right? She was already thrown. Allison already was. But by making her shoot down Derek and making her watch you shoot her boyfriend, like, and then pushing Allison away so that, oh, Allison isn't in the way when you kill Scott. It was stupid. I was just like, you train this person first. Allison is great in archery, but you know, her targets are not living beings. Like, you know, she's very good at archery. Her targets are not living beings. And plus, has Allison even ever hunted a regular animal before? Has she ever went hunting like a rabbit or some shit like that? Like, no, it never shows Allison has actually had training on murdering living beings with her archery. It's never actually shown she's had that shit. So basically, Kate threw her into the deep end of murdering an animal. It was stupid. I was just like, what is this? Like, this person is just so uncharacteristically okay with being fucking evil. Like, I don't understand. But y'all, anyways, I guess that's her character. I hated her fucking character. I'm so glad she's dead. I somehow disliked her more than the actual villain who murdered his own family. Like, I actually like her less than the villain who murdered his own family to gain power. Like, legit. Let's talk about him, actually, right now. Okay, so now we're off to Peter Hale. This is going more so in the don't like category. Kate was practically the only one I just hated because, you know, I just didn't understand her. With Peter Hale, it's very much strongly almost going to hate, but I don't hate him just yet. I don't know if just him being charismatic saves him from being hated or something like that, or just me seeing him as low-key another victim, even though what he did. So basically what he did and who he is. Oh yeah, did I even mention with Kate, she is the aunt to Allison. She's not Allison's mom, even though Allison's mom is barely shown. Like, bro, what's the point in her being in the show? But anyways, Peter is the uncle to Derek Hale. And may I just say, he was one of the people that was caught up in the fire that Kate Argent had made towards the Hale house. That is the whole thing. You know, all those years ago, Kate set fire to a house and whatnot, full of werewolves and non-werewolves, like, you know, regular humans and werewolves. He was one of the victims, right? And for 6 years, he was in a coma. Like, basically, he was burnt up. 75% of his body was burnt up. He was in a coma. He barely could speak. It's like his brain could not process the fact that what happened. He had to relive it for 6 years while being burnt the fuck up in a hospital. Like, bro, he's a victim as well too. However, what makes him no longer a full-blown victim and someone to fully sympathize with anymore is how he went about getting his revenge. How he went about getting his revenge was by killing his niece, Laura Hale, who is sister to Derek Hale, to obtain the alpha powers. Now, I don't know how alpha powers are brought down because, you know, their parents were killed in that fire too, by the way. Derek and Laura Hale's parents were killed in that fire. So it's kind of like, you know, how it works. You have to kill the alpha in order to become the alpha. But neither of them killed their parents. Kate did. So it's like, how the hell did Laura become the alpha? I guess it's because it's passed down to the older kid. You know, the parent is the alpha, the mother was the alpha. So after the mother died and neither of them killed her, it was just passed down to the eldest one of the two. So I guess that's how it works. But child, anyways, Peter decided he was going to kill Laura to obtain her power so that he has enough power to fight the Argents. You know, but he knows damn well he can't fight them head on. Even though he could have, they have so much weaponry. Like, no, like, it would be a little bit too stupid to actually do that shit. Their weapons still affect him, even though he's an alpha. He's just more powerful than a beta does in an omega. Like, that's the thing. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. The beta and omega thing. But anyways, yes, I just did not like that he killed his own family because one thing is for sure, all of his family, most if not like all of his family, are dead. Like, that's the thing. And the only remaining two that you know about are Laura Hale and Derek Hale. You proceed to kill Laura to gain power from her, despite the fact that she is one of the only two family you have left. What? Like, no, I don't care if it's for like, oh yeah, to gain extra power. Dude, you can't work with your relatives to gain, like, you know, to exact revenge. Laura may not have wanted it. That's probably why he killed her. But still, it's kind of like, it's stupid. It's really dumb. Like, here's the thing. If Peter had went head on, Laura wouldn't have just sat back and let Peter fight those fucking individuals. Like, she would have jumped in if he had acted too. However, he was burnt and whatnot. He was still able to fucking murder his niece. So it wasn't like he was fully incapable of moving. So yeah, well, never mind. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I almost went into spoiler mode. Oh shit, because season 2 reveals a little bit more. But as we know it now, he murdered his niece and whatnot. So that's why I didn't like him. I was just like, you know, from season 1 and whatnot, I was just like, why did he murder his own niece to gain her power? That was stupid. What was the point? Like, like, I know what the point was, you know, because they needed to act and whatnot, but she's the last remaining family member you fucking have. Like, are you kidding me? You saw your family burnt the fuck up, and the ones you have left, that you're getting rid of them yourself. How he approached Derek, he literally grabbed Derek's spine from the back, and a lot of blood was coming out of him. And yes, Derek healed and whatnot, but that's when I didn't know that Peter Hill was the alpha. I did not know Peter Hill was the fucking alpha. So when he did that to Derek, and then after it reveals that Peter is the alpha, I'm basically thinking in my head, just like, you could have killed your damn nephew. Why do you keep killing your own family, dude? They're the only ones you have fucking left. Like, are you kidding me? You're offing them. Like, why? And this is what he looked like. This picture right here, when he was burnt. He's looking away like that. He's putting on a little ruse for Derek to make it seem like, oh yeah, he's still shocked by the events. And honestly, I feel like this is how he originally was for at least the first 2 to 3 years of after the events of the burning and whatnot. He was probably really couldn't say a word. He couldn't do anything. And you know, it shows in that episode after Derek leaves, he lifted a finger slightly, and Derek's back was turned, so he didn't see that Peter Hill was low-key trying to give him a warning. And then after it's revealed, Peter's just like, I tried to warn you, I tried to do this, I tried to do that. I'm over here just thinking, like, you can't just think that slightly lifting your finger is a warning, especially if Derek's leaving. You see him leaving. You see him leaving. You could have at least, like, you know, breathe extra hard and stuff like that. Derek has wolf ears. He could have heard you, like, either breathing extra hard or, like, mumbling some shit. He didn't even mumble. So how the fuck Derek supposed to know? Like, that, you didn't warn him at all. Like, you essentially didn't warn him at all. You basically did nothing. Like, what the fuck? But, child, anyway, sorry, this one is long as fuck. I said shooting for 20 minutes. But is that it? He is charismatic. I like his little interaction with Styles. It was very weird. He said he liked Styles, and one thing that weirded me out was that he was actually really tame in that instance. This is the first time he's ever offered the bite to anyone. He actually offered Styles to bite him. Just like, you know, you've been a really good help. You want the bite? He just said it casually. I was just like, what the fuck? You have the capability to actually ask them what the fuck they want. Why didn't you do that shit to Scott? It's like, bro, what the hell? Like, I can't. I was just so baffled. I was just like, what? And then he was just like, you don't get it. I'm not the bad guy. And then Styles is just like, you know, you got red eyes, you turn into a big wolf, and you got fangs, and somehow you're not the bad guy here? Like, bro, he didn't say exactly like that, but still, it was kind of the gist of that. And I was sitting there like, dude, you right. Like, bro, and he offered it, and he was even about to bite Styles, but Styles, like, reeled his hand back and said he didn't want it. But Peter could tell he was lying. Like, basically, he could tell he was lying. He was just like, even if your heart didn't pick up, I still can pretty much tell that you're fucking lying and that you do want it. But I like that Styles didn't get the bite. But I also like that Peter actually offered it. I didn't expect him to offer that shit. So I was just like, huh? Here goes the actor. He's so, yes. Oh, gosh. Someone commented that as he gets older, he gets even more fine. And at first I was just like, I can't see it, because I still didn't like him. And then I saw it more and I was just like, oh shit. Oh, why do you have to be correct? Hello. Okay, so I'm back. I had to basically cut that other video a bit. That's why it's kind of weird. And it shows Mr. Argent. My ear's on in the background if you can't really hear me. It shows Mr. Argent because I started on him next. But he's neutral, and I wasn't even finished with my list of people I don't like, because I completely forgot about Jackson and Lydia. I forgot about both of them. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. So I'm gonna talk about them next. All right, let's get it. Okay, so now we're on Jackson Whitmore. We're still on the list. Or is it Whittemore? I don't know. Whittemore. Jackson Whittemore was still on the list of people I don't like. I don't like him due to the fact that his whole personality is just being should I say that word on YouTube? Butthole. I'm gonna just say butthole, even though he's way more than a butthole and whatnot. He starts off the series being incredibly rude to Scott, basically being a bully to Scott and whatnot. They play lacrosse and whatnot, and he be belittling Scott, you know, there also Styles as well. He's just an a-hole. And he was the star player of lacrosse, so he has a big, gigantic ego. He's insecure. He feels like he needs to prove that he is the top dog to everybody, especially to people that don't really even honestly care for him and his real character. It's like him and Lydia are shallow. That's why I don't really like them. It's like, ugh, I can't. But anyways, as the series progresses on, oh my gosh, he legit finds out Scott and his identity, and he is just instantly a total a-hole about it. He over here biting an apple really slow and on some real stuff. I would show y'all. Actually, I should. Okay, so I found out I can't show you because of copyright and whatnot. But y'all, anyways, he's biting an apple real slowly, you know, and Scott's ears are very sensitive and whatnot. After he finds out, they're in the lunchroom, and he's talking deliberately normal, but also like he's kind of whispering, and he knows Scott can hear him, and he's looking dead at Scott, right? They're in a lunchroom, a big ass lunchroom, by the way. He is turned around talking to basically Scott all the way across the lunchroom, right? So it's like, dude, what's going on? And then he stands in a corner and talks about how he's gonna steal Allison away from Scott, since they're basically broken up at this time, and talk about how he's gonna get her out of her tight little dress and do some things to her. Yes, that's the type of person Jackson is. He ain't shit. And like, bro, every time I saw him, I was just like, man, y'all lucky y'all don't play football. I wish they had some footballs in there so I could, like, someone could throw one dead in his face. He deserves a football dead to his fucking face. Like, I couldn't stand the shit. And him being good looking could not save my hatred for the character. In fact, no, I don't have hatred for him. I just don't like him. I feel like he gets better as the series go on, but I for real do not like this character at all. Like, bro, as time goes on and whatnot, afterwards, he wants to become a werewolf. Even after it is shown the alpha, even after, like, you know, he sees Derek, even after he sees Scott real face, even after all that, he still wants to become a werewolf because he thinks that it's so cool. He thinks, oh, you can run really fast, you can hear and smell for long distances and stuff, you can see from long distances, you're really super strong. Oh, there's so many positives to it. Okay, how about the negatives? You aren't thinking about the negatives. You are going to be hunted for your life, for existing. Do you not think like that? He's an idiot. He's such an idiot. And then after the whole school thing, because at the school, they were attacked by the alpha and whatnot. Afterwards, something kind of switched. It's like he stopped liking Lydia. I don't know where. Both him and Lydia are shallow. Honestly, they're really made for each other. But he stopped liking Lydia because she's been controlling and whatnot. So I can understand why he didn't like her no more. But still, it's like he would act like he's better than Lydia. And I was just like, dude, you are just like her. He would talk as if he was better than Lydia. Lydia said he looked good, which honestly, girl, why did you say that? Because you feeding his ego. She was feeding his ego. He's a dumbass. And she's actually very intelligent, as hinted by Styles and whatnot. And like Jackson said, oh, obviously. And then he said some other shit. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And he had asked out Allison, and Allison said yes. And I'm over here just thinking, like, Allison is too damn nice. First of all, Jackson has shown plenty of times that he's a piece of shit. And he was a piece of shit to Scott at the bowling alley for no reason. And yes, even though he did explain to Allison that, oh yeah, you know, imagine that you were the star player and stuff like that, and then this new kid comes up and takes all your glory. And now nobody looks at you. Nobody, like, you know, is cheering for you. And Allison understood that, and I guess she liked honesty from him because honestly, you know, Scott was not being that honest with her. So I guess that's what made her attracted to him more. And he looks good, I guess. But yeah, you know, afterwards, it basically showed he did not like her in that way. He likes Allison, he just doesn't like her in that way. He's a jerk. Like, I can't stand him. He's not a jerk because he doesn't like Allison. He's a jerk because of the fact that he had threatened to take Allison from Scott, to declothe Allison, you know, to get all he could from Allison. He had threatened that with Scott, and he meant to go all the way with it too, you know, all because he wanted to spite Scott, even though he doesn't even like Allison in that way. It's like, ugh, bro, makes me sick. And then at the end, he finally got what he wanted. The very last episode, in credits, it shows Derek, the new alpha. I'm gonna talk about Derek later on, giving Jackson the bite. Derek, Mr. In fact, no, I'm gonna go ham on Derek once I get to his ass, okay? But we're still talking about Jackson, only a little bit. My whole thing, I'm not rating these characters, even though I probably should. But yeah, he just sucks. I don't really like him. I hate every time I see him on screen. He just doesn't contribute to anything but making me dislike him even more. It's like he's a waste of a character, in my opinion. At least, like, even though I hate Kate, at least she had somewhat of purpose, god damn it. It's like, every time I see him, it's just like, why are you here? Like, it's literally like, why are you here? I can't. I know it's all for, like, I guess for him to be another werewolf and whatnot, but I don't want that. He doesn't deserve to have any sort of power whatsoever. But y'all, anyways, let's go on to Lydia. Up next, we got Lydia Martin. Lydia Martin, she is basically shallow as fuck. She only wants her boyfriend. Oh my gosh, why they beeping it? She only really honestly wants to be with Jackson because he's star player, or that's what we think it is. But then it shows later on she actually does care for him, and she actually does love being with him and whatnot. You know, she be talking about how she wants her boyfriend at peak performance, having these sexual innuendos, which is like inappropriate as hell. I don't know why the writers thought that was cool. She be saying these things specifically to Scott too. I'm just like, ugh. I don't think Scott wanted to hear this. Scott could have went his whole life without hearing you talk about how you like your boyfriend at peak performance. Like, gosh, stop. Like, and then what she said to Allison at the bowling alley, she was all just like, you know, she said something about suck, and then she was just like, you know what? I do enough sucking just to, like, you know, please him. I was like, ugh, gosh, wait a minute. Ugh, I gotta clean my ears after that shit. It was so disgusting. Like, ugh, I can't. And she says this shit with Jackson right there. He doesn't look smug. In fact, it never shows his face as she's saying this shit. It's always when he's either not around or when he's right there, but the camera's not on his face. It's like, ugh, I want to see his reaction to this. He probably smirk, but I feel like it would be funny if he, like, looked slightly disgusted or slightly embarrassed. Like, bro. But yeah, anyways, I mentioned those two things because, like, legit, that's how her character was for the majority of the damn show. And how she treats Styles. Styles is gonna be, I'm gonna talk about him later. It's gonna be farther down the video, though. She's just so mean to him. In fact, at first she wasn't mean to him. She just didn't know him. I feel like she did know him. She just ignored him. And I actually liked it more when she ignored him rather than her just being directly mean to him. I hate her being directly mean to him. I like it more when she's just ignoring him, like, in his existence. I like that more. You know? But he's so obnoxiously nice to her. He sees her brilliance. He even says this at the dance. He sees her brilliance, her intelligence and whatnot. You know, he sees that she could really, you know, grow up and do amazing things. And, like, it makes me sad because Styles, god damn it, put this energy into someone who deserves it. And, like, gosh. But, child, anyways, during when they were getting chased by the Alpha and had to be in the school building, and not had to, but were in the school building and whatnot, she noticed, like, you know, with how Scott was, he was really brave with that. And then afterwards, it was the full moon, another episode. Scott was turning. He was being more of a jerk that day. And so Lydia was just like, you know, I think she was just like, I feel like Allison was wrong because honestly, she should be appreciative of you. And then she said more after that, but then she started kissing all up on Scott. She initiated the kiss too. Scott made a point to say she initiated the kiss. And she was all up on him and whatnot, all because she's jealous. Because at the time, Jackson was showing more interest in Allison to get back at Scott. So Lydia was jealous. And this was at a time when Lydia and Jackson were still together. So Jackson was basically almost cheating on her. I want to say almost cheating on her because it's like he hasn't really kissed Allison yet. He hasn't done all that. But he was talking with Allison with a lot of interest and stuff like that. More interest than just a friend or a close friend or whatnot. And Lydia noticed and she was mad. But girl, you were still with your boyfriend. Like, you didn't break up with him. In fact, Jackson had to be the one to break up with her. Like, that was crazy. You still with your boyfriend, but you over here kissing all up on Scott and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you could have been seen Scott as hot, but damn, like, I can't. And she also wanted to kiss him because he's star player and whatnot. Yeah, Jackson's a co-captain. He gonna cry in the car. But anyway, yeah, with Lydia, it's just nothing. Not a lot to say about her character. Besides the fact that I do feel bad about her, like, honestly, at the end where, like, you know, she was bit by Peter Hill, you know, the alpha and whatnot. I do feel kind of bad, but I don't at the same time, because she was looking for Jackson, and it really just shows she does give a fuck about Jackson. She does really care about Jackson. Jackson's the one that doesn't care about her. And I didn't say this in his section. I'm gonna just say it on hers, since their sections are like intertwined a lot. He legit did not give a fuck until, like, oh, he like found her in the lacrosse field and whatnot, and she was bleeding out, and then he carried her back. Yes, however, she only went there looking for you, Jackson. Like, the way he broke up with her was so shallow. I'm glad it wasn't through text, but he said it straight to her face. It was honest, but it was still cold-hearted as fuck. She went there to see if you're okay, and then you come back with her in your arms. You go to the hospital, you want to look all bad and feel all bad and whatnot, and then afterwards, she's still in the hospital. Yeah, her parents are there, and Styles is there, but why is Styles there? You were her ex-boyfriend. You were with her longer. You should be visiting her, sir. You're the one that found her bleeding and bloody. Oh my gosh. You know, and don't even be on no pretenses like, oh yeah, we're not together anymore, that's why I ain't go there. Bro, y'all were dating. Like, you know, y'all not only did things with each other, you at least cared for each other to an extent, right? Like, shit. He just doesn't give a fuck afterwards. I don't even think he thinks about Lydia afterwards. Pathetic. I can't stand either of these people. I can't stand Jackson more than I can stand, like, Lydia. Jackson sucks ass, but, like, Lydia, she's just shallow. She's fucked up. She shouldn't have kissed Scott. Allison confronted her about it. Honestly, Allison should have had more of a bite. She should have had more of a bite, but she didn't. She's still friends with her and whatnot. They went to go dress shopping. She did listen to Allison, though. Allison was just like, yeah, because you're going to take him out on a date. And it pointed to Styles. And Lydia actually went with the prom with Styles. Went to the prom with Styles. I'm sorry, my voice is cracking up. But yeah. And it was nice. And he complimented her, and then she finally danced with him. She did look a little like, ugh. And Styles understood it when she went to go look after Jackson, look for Jackson and whatnot. But it still sucks ass. Like, I hate that shit. Gosh, treat him better. Stop treating Styles like shit. Ugh. But anyways, now we can go on to talking about the father, Mr. Argent. And I already have a video recorded of that. But y'all, anyways, I'ma just piece them together to see how it goes. Hello, all my VIPs. This is about 4 days later. We're okay. I just woke up and everything, showered and everything, about to make me a smoothie. I'm gonna have to cut this video short and whatnot, because it's basically 30 minutes of me talking about who I hate and who I dislike. And I realized, I was just like, you know, I could just make it like categories. Instead of making it an hour long, I can just make it short instead, just to save y'all the trouble and whatnot. So, you know, I think that would be a better idea. And then I can talk in my other video about, like, the ones I find neutral, which is really only one from season 1, and then the ones that I like, and then the ones that I love. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. So anyways, yeah, this is the end of this video. I'm gonna basically piece together the other ones, because I'm almost done with the neutral one. I just have to do the liked ones and the loved characters and whatnot. So yeah, this is it for it. Peace. May peace be with you for an eternity.